Come take a trip in my airship. Come take a sail among the stars. Come have a ride around Venus. Come have a spin around Mars. Show us while we're busy. Show us to see while we school. Come take a trip in my airship and we'll visit the man in the moon.
Greetings, loyal airmen, and a post. Merry Christmas to all of you. Here we are getting ready to record our last podcast of 2025. I'm one of your co-hosts, Captain Ron Fortier, and joining me as ever is Chief Engineer Rob Davis. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. And hello, airmen, and thanks for joining us on this final podcast of 2025. We have a great show lined up for you and hope you had a great Christmas holiday with Santa bringing you everything you wanted.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Always fun. Always fun. I was just telling Rob before we started recording, it's the gifts that you don't see coming that surprise you or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And my granddaughter and her husband and my grandson got me an actual American flag in the normal triangular case. They're carrying the.
Yeah, they folded up into a triangle.
When they keep them indoors and off, from flying on the pole. But it's one of those things that was flown over the White House this past year's Veterans Day. So being, a veteran myself, I was really, really tickled with that. That's something precious. I have it on the top shelf in my office now. And again, really, Santa outdid himself. But whereas Rob and Santa are on hold.
Yeah, we're half of the children are off celebrating in New Hampshire, where it's nice and cold and snowy and.
My little stopping ground, but I'm really glad I'm not there.
Yeah, that's where the Pipers live, the in-laws, and they're up there celebrating the Christmas season. We 1 year we do Thanksgiving here, and they do Christmas there. Next year it'll be just the opposite.
Right.
So that's how it goes. When you've got family spread out everywhere, you can't all get together. So what we did was we just pushed back the date. We're going to celebrate until they come back from New Hampshire, and we'll all get together. And I'm not sure what we're going to fix and drink and do all that stuff, but we'll open presents on that day instead of on Christmas Day itself. So yeah, that's what's happening here.
Right. I mean, we're talking like that. I remember just to pass it along. As I told you, we had a very quiet Christmas Eve family get together here in Colorado. So Christmas Day, Valerie and I got up early, went to church, came back, and Valerie, my daughter-in-law, Nicole, went through the leftovers. We had it was basically the Italian Christmas. We had lasagna and spaghetti and chicken cacciatore and stuff like that. We had leftovers. So they're getting the meals ready. And we're getting calls from the kids back east, wishing us Merry Christmas. How's it going? Everything else. So my son Scott from Connecticut calls, and we're exchanging greetings and whatever. And he goes, "I'm sorry, so I was a little late with my own shopping." He says, "Your gift is going to come in a couple of days." Okay. So last evening, we're watching television. UPS or whoever drives up brings this big box up, right? And my son Alan out in the living room gets it. Nicole comes over and says, "Scott's gift got here. You're going to be a little surprised." So Barry and I go out in the living room, right? He got us that big, huge Omaha Steaks package.
Oh, my word.
With steaks, burgers, chicken, desserts. I don't know what else all this. So the girls basically, the box was huge. They stripped it apart. And while they were doing that, Valerie looks at Nicole and says, "Well, New Year's Eve is next Wednesday night." She goes, why should we plan anything? And I have to tell you, the weather here has been kind of on the cold side, but it's been sunny, very little snow east of the Rockies. The ground's bare here. So now Alan's got, this little look in his eyes. He goes, "I'll get out the grill." Said, "All right." So New Year's Eve, Omaha steaks, burgers, and whatever. Our menu is set for our celebration of New Year's Eve. Thank you, number one son, Scott. There you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rob can't do that because that's beef. And since I have alpha gal, I can't eat anything but chicken and fish. And those things are they generally have very limited choices that I can eat. So,
Well,
I always look at them and drool though. Oh,
well, no, but hey, like I said, there were several chicken breasts in this package.
Yeah, they have.
I
don't know if they got fish in there or not, but they might have.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's chicken. They have chicken, but it's just not that. You don't have a lot of choices with them. It's Omaha steaks, That's big thick steaks, 2-3 inches thick. Yeah. So I'm envious. I wish I could join you, but can't. For 2 reasons: I'm too far away, and I can't eat what you got.
Always gotta watch that kind of stuff.
Yep.
All right. Hey, look, we're gonna get going with the show, and as usual, you have the distinct honor of hitting us with the bad.
I think that's dubious honor, actually. But yeah,
103. Go get him, buddy.
Well, okay. Well, let me see if I can get my cursor to go over to the second screen here, so I can. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right. 2 drunken Irishmen are in a graveyard. Paddy starts reading the gravestones. "Mick," he says, "would you look at this, a feller who was 90 when he died?" "Who's that?" said Mick. "Somebody called O'Toole from Kerry," he replies. Mick says, "Never mind him. There's a feller here called Murphy who was 99 when he died. From Castletown, of all places." "Well, that's nothing," says Paddy. "What about what was written on this feller's stone here, right beside the gate? The stone says 147. 47, that's amazing," says Mick. "Who was he?" "Well, according to the stone, it's somebody called Miles from Dublin."
Okay, Rob. Okay. I'm going to chalk this one up to the hecticity of the season, because you need to go look at our last podcast.
Did we do that one already?
That was the one I did last podcast.
Oh, well, I need to go back and look. It's been too long. Well, at least I did the accent.
Well, I wasn't going to stop you. You did a better version of it than I did. You did the voices and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways, hey, look.
And that's why I liked it so much. It sounded, it didn't sound familiar, but I'm going, that's funny.
I'm staying away from doing voices. Not my thing. Okay. But you know what?
It's Miles from Dublin.
I'm going to tell you. Isn't Miles your middle name?
Yes, that's why.
Yes, you.
Yeah.
Informed me of last time. That's how I remember.
I have, as I'll repeat the joke I always tell, I have the longest name in the English language. Miles between my first and last name.
That's really funny.
And it occurred to me that this joke is a little off because it would probably be kilometers instead of miles in Ireland anyway. So it's totally. The joke is a little off anyway. But okay, a repeat, folks. It was so good we repeated.
A good bad joke is always worth repeating. All right. So let's look at. We did actually get out as of today. We were going to record and say we had 2 books out, but today we actually, thanks to your hard work,
got a third one out.
Got a third book out. So here we go. I'll start with the first, which was Secret Agent Volume 2, a reprint edition. Answering the request of a fan, we once again made this early book available in paperback, along with its Kindle edition on Amazon. Note, it is clearly marked reprint edition, and Rob dressed up the cover a bit. It features the same original 4 stories by Frank Schindler, John Bear Ross, Andrew Salmon, and Jared Cartermarsh. Rob provides the artwork, both illustrations and cover. And again, Secret Agent one of our favorites. Always sells well, and I'm not surprised that every now and then years go by, we get new fans or new people discover Airship 27, check our catalog out, and I want to have this. I want to have this. And as they learn, it's now been relegated to Kindle only, and we get the knock on the door. Hey, Chet, you can get this in print again. So Rob's solution to that was the reprint editions, and I know for a fact he's made some very happy fans doing that.
Yeah, and the new reprint format, it pushes the edges of the pages out a little bit, so I can lower the number of pages it is and lower our costs a little bit. So when I put these up, I actually dropped the price a couple of dollars from what our other books are to try and save our fans a little bit of money. I mean, we're still going to make a profit on it, but and so it's a little less. Plus, I've changed a few things about it. The original books, when we first started doing books, we actually at the end of a chapter, if it came to the top of a page, maybe only 3 or 4 lines, we'd leave the rest of that page blank. But now we actually run the chapters together in our books to save those pages, because it can make a difference up to 9 or 10 pages depending on the book. And that saves a bunch of money for us, and we don't have to raise prices to keep up with the rising cost of printing.
Right.
We're doing the same price of our books as how we started out, and these reprint books are actually a couple of dollars cheaper each. So we're really trying to save our fans a bit of money here. So, but they're back out there. The person asked this person asked for all 3, 1, 2, and 3 of Secret Agent X to be back up out there again, because they were not in print at the time when he requested it, and it took me a little while to fix each one of them so that they would fit that new format. But they're all done now. We've probably got a couple of more books that are in our old catalog that are still not in print, but no one's asked for them yet. If you have one out there that you're interested in, we can do that for you. If you look at our catalog online, Airship27Hangar.com, and you see one that you'd like to have, but it's not in print, let us know. If it's one that we think we can do fairly easily, then I'll put it in the new format. But we're doing. I don't know how many are left. Probably maybe 2 or 3 that we don't have at least the very first one done. Okay, well I've already rambled on too much.
So now the second release since last podcast, I'll let you take.
Okay, the Persona. It's Volume 3, Silver Skin by Michael Housel. It features 3 new adventures of the Mystic Hero with interior illustrations by Aidan Belcher. This is Aidan's first work for Airship 27, and it won't be his last. The gorgeous cover on this one is by Michael Youngblood, and Aidan Belcher is the son of comic book artist and letterer
Mike Belcher.
I went blank there for a second on his first name, Mike Belcher. That happens when you get older, man. Sometimes they just go fly away. But yeah, again, our good friend Michael Youngblood, who does some of the best covers we get, did the cover on this one as well. He's working on a couple of other books for us at the moment too.
Yeah, he's actually now doing the cover to Jezebel Johnson Volume 10. No Quarrel.
Right.
So, and that
one's ready to go. All we're waiting for is his
Michael's cover.
Yeah.
Out it flies. I'm guessing it may be our first release of 2026.
Yeah, depending on how quickly he gets that cover to us. Yeah, because it's all ready to go except for that. But anyway, give him that third book there, Rob.
All right. So much to our delight, the author himself, Lee Houston Jr., got back to Rob yesterday early, having gone over the final proofing of his novel, Solitaire, Volume 2, The Agenda. Now, we had finished this a few weeks back. It features interior illustrations by Chuck Bordell, who did the interiors on the first Solitaire adventure. And we got Ted Hammond who did the cover for #1 to come back and do the cover for 2. This cover is it's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. So Rob, holidays, no holidays, went through Lee's final corrections, got it all up at Amazon, and we woke up this morning to find it had been released. It's out there now. And so it becomes our 17th release and last release of 2025. And there you go. We got 17 books out this year.
Yep, I even got the website updated. Got the Amazon link, and the PDF link is up on our website. Haven't put the Kindle together. I may do that maybe tomorrow if I have time. But everything else is ready to roll. People want to pick that book up. It's available now in print and the PDF format, and probably in a few days we'll have the Kindle up and ready for order there as well. So next, what's coming?
Now we are days away from the end of 2025, and Ron's standing by the door with the key and the lock, because as of the 1st of January, we are closing the doors on new submissions. And by now, that shouldn't surprise anyone, because we've been giving you an advance warning of this going all the way back to the middle of summer. All right. And obviously, the reasoning for doing this is that we have a huge backlog of inventory stories and novels that we need to get out. We need to get finished, wrapped up, honor our commitments to our writers and artists, and get all of these things in print and out, because quite honestly, neither of us is getting any younger.
No.
And it's basically a little bit of insurance to wrap this backlog up. Once that happens, and believe me, okay, there's not going to be any rush on this. We've been very lucky in the last 2 or 3 months to acquire at least 4 new artists who are really talented and looking like they're going to stay with us for a while, which will help us a great deal in cleaning up this backlog. Huge deal. Then, as we get close to the end of the year, because this will take all year, there's no doubt in my mind about that.
Oh yeah.
It may go into 2027. If we get to a point where we have more short stories that we can't fill anthology titles with themes, per Rob's idea, and I supported it 100%, we'll launch an eclectic anthology called Airship27 Adventures, for no other reason than finally cleaning up all the short stories that we've got in-house. Once we've achieved that goal, once everything has been put in print, is available at Amazon, everybody, writer and artist, can sit back and share and show their relatives everything they've created and done, then Rob and I are going to sit down, and before we open the doors again, give a long and hard thought to what it is we want to do moving forward. Obviously, we're not going to just open the gates to just creating all the titles in the series we had. We're going to get a little more selective. We're going to look at those series that were big sellers for us, continue to be big sellers for us, and obviously we'll want to continue in one shape or another. There's 1 or 2 favorites that Rob has. There's 1 or 2 favorite characters that I have. So again, Airship 27 isn't going away, but we're going to streamline things that we can manage them a whole lot easier and stay on top of them and not let this thing get away from us like it did.
Yeah, because it occasionally gets away from me, and sometimes it gets away from Ron as well. And fortunately, so far, when it gets away from me, he knows what's going on, and when it gets away from him, I generally know what's going on. But one of these days, we're both going to go, okay, what's going on? And then we're going to be in trouble. But yeah, it's what started off as kind of a lark and a side gig has kind of turned into a Frankenstein monster that's kind of taken over our lives. And now both of us are actually getting a lot more comic book work, and I'd kind of like to have a little more time to devote to that. I know you would as well. So it just paring this back a little bit, not eliminating it, but paring it back to a manageable level where we can continue to do it, but at the same time do other things that we'd like to do as well. So that's kind of what's going on. We're not shutting it down as some people think we are. It's not. We're not shutting the door. We're putting we're leaving the door open, but we're putting the screen in. The screen door's in. You have to at least knock before you come in.
I look back on the like 14, almost 15 years since you and I hatched this crazy idea, right? And one of the things that I appreciate of it a great deal is, all right, both of us agreed to do this, I think, with a sense of what can I learn from this? Because I know you're a techno bug, and the idea of designing books, all right, in design and working with art and covers appealed to you
any of that. I didn't know
right.
I'm completely self-taught. I went online and got YouTube videos and got a couple of books and taught myself how to do this. And I book programs like InDesign, I've just scratched the surface of what it can do, but it does what I need it to do, and I've kind of left it at that. But well, yeah, this was a sideline thing. We just kind of did this as a lark and an exploration of, can we do this? So
right, we're going back to, so I'm sitting back thinking, okay, well, aside from writing, which has been my career up until that point, the idea of being the editor. Okay, what does being an editor mean? How do you edit? The point being is, I look back on it now, and man, over the course of the years, in dealing with so many different writers and their styles of writing and their weaknesses and their strengths, I mean, I learned so much, Rob, about what it means to be an editor. Okay, and again, it's you begin to identify similar traits when I'm dealing with young writers who are just starting out, as opposed to when professionals who've been at it for a long time send me a script, and it's like night and day. I identify it immediately. I just get it. All right.
Yeah.
So it's been really rewarding for me in a new aspect of my writing life and career to learn that aspect of editing, and hopefully it's made me a better writer in the same way. Of when I'm dealing with other writers and trying to correct them this or that, I have to self-ask, well, do I do the same thing? Do I make this mistake? And that's what I'm saying. All right, a good editor hopefully always understands he or she still has room for improvement, just like the people they're editing. So there you go.
Yeah, and the aspect of it for me is to think. I'm the kind of artist that kind of called what I call flying by the seat of your pants. You don't think so much about what you're doing, but you get these. You taught over the years. You've learned all this stuff, but now, because I'm working with new artists who haven't done all that background work that I have, I don't even think about that kind of stuff anymore. But with somebody that I'm trying to help move into this, I have to stop and think, okay, what is it about this that has to be done in order for this to work properly? So I have to think through things that I haven't before. So it makes me more cognizant of. So I think more about what it is that I'm doing than I did before. I'm less seat of the pants. I'm still seat of the pants, but I'm less of that than I was before. I do think more about, okay, what does this illustration need? What do I need to do to make this work in this particular? Because I've had to do that for other artists. So yeah, I've had some of the same experience. So, but it's been people tell us, well, you taught me a whole lot. Well, yeah, but you taught me a lot too, folks. So yeah, it's a two-way. Every time anytime you're a teacher, you learn probably as much as you taught.
Amen.
Yeah. So that's how it works.
Yep.
So
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now before we take a look at what's coming, all right, as to what we got in production, I think this is a good place to maybe segue a little bit to remind people one more time, all right, as we get to the end of the year, I'm starting to see Doug Ellis posting ads on social media for Windy City Paper and Pulp Show. And that's been a really fun show for Airship27 for many, many years. Unfortunately, this year there's a conflict with dates. The show's been pushed up a few weeks till the point where it butts heads with Rob's HomeCon, Planet Comic Con in Kansas. So
it went up a week, and Windy City went back a week, and they're usually sometimes they're about a week to 2 weeks apart. Well, this year they touched.
Yep.
Now that happened once before. The first Windy City we went to conflicted with Planet Comic Con. I'd already committed to going to Windy City. That's the one where we went with like 5 books on the table. But it was part of our, well, let's see, is what we're doing, is it worth doing? And so we pretty much had to go. So I had to cancel my appearance at Planet Comic Con. And I vowed at that time, if it happened again, since I gave it to Windy City that time, if it ever happened again, fingers crossed it never did. Well, it finally did. And now I've had to go, well, I'm sorry, but I kind of committed to and I'd already paid for the table anyway by the time we heard from Windy City. So it just didn't work. I mean, it didn't work, and I'm upset by it, but I'm disappointed because I like Windy City. I'd like to go, but it happened.
Well, happily, since that first time we appeared there, the new pulp community has grown, and I mean enlarged, and become a huge subdivision of the whole pulp, fandom community. And that being the case, so many of our publishing colleagues are going to be there. All right. And Rob and I have already worked it out with Jonathan Sweet and Brian K. Morris to take care of the Pulp Factory Awards presentations on Friday night at the con, which is when they're held. God bless Doug Ellis, who from the opening when we created the awards said, hey, you can use the show as your venue for giving out the awards.
Yeah. Which was very generous.
Right. So come the end of January, I expect to see Jonathan beating the drums on social media to all the Pulp Factory members, all right, writers, artists, editors, whatever, to start nominating. We're going to have the regular nominations, the final ballot, the secret, once it's tallied, John will have Jay will have, the results. They'll get the awards made up. He will be at the con. Brian and his wife Cookie will be there. They'll get together, work it out between them. And that Friday night, as per usual on the schedule at Windy City, will be the Pulp Factory Awards. So, don't despair. We'll be there in spirit for sure.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed, 2027's schedule will open up together.
And if that's the case, well, guess what? It flips. If they're the same weekend, this time I'll go to Windy City. I'll miss going to Planet Comic Con just like I'm missing going to Windy City now. But if it happens again, then it'll be Windy City this time. So
okay. All right. Now, in that business aside, we have stuff in the queue that's in production. And as I had mentioned earlier, we've got a book, another Jezebel Johnston adventure, number 10 already. Unbelievable. This is easily one of the greatest Pirate Queen saga ever done in fiction. Nancy's amazing. And Rob's already done the interior illustrations for it. So we're waiting on Michael Youngblood's cover, which I know is going to knock it out of the ballpark.
It's been proofread. It's Nancy's gone through it and made her corrections. So all we're waiting on is the cover for that one. And it's hopefully Michael can get to it after the holidays here. He shut down his studio kind of like I did. I've shut mine down for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. So but that one should, fingers crossed, that'll probably be our first one of 2026 to come out.
Okay. So then what we have is The Adventures of Radio Rita, Volume 2, which I believe is still in your hands in one form or another. Okay. But we do have Michael's cover for that in-house. which
Yeah.
looks
It's flipped. I've done one illustration for that book so far, and there's going to be 12, I think,
right.
and some
Plus the
auxiliary ones too. I'll probably do some of the planes that she flies, like
or the
in the
sub
first one.
characters that appear in
Yeah.
the stories or
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever works and wherever I can throw them in. I don't want to
Right.
make the book too big.
Nope.
But yeah.
All right. And then another book which I am really, really excited about, and we will talk to you more about this as time goes on. But this is Jamie Ramos's last project before he passed away last year, and it's an anthology. It's a shared world kind of concept, and Jamie created this, this fictional city called Golgotha, and he got his fellow writing enthusiast fans. They had a writing club. They would meet once a week on Skype, and then later, StreamYard and whatever. And that included Teal James Glenn, Nancy Hansen, Lee Houston Jr., Bobby Nash, and Wayne Carey. And all of them contributed to this anthology, plus, of course, Jamie himself. And then what I find rather fascinating and unique is you open up the anthology with each of their individual short stories, and then somehow or other, Jamie twisted their arms and got them to do Around Robin, one big old novella that they all co-wrote.
Oh my.
And I gotta tell you, it had a few little, what do you want to call it, speed bumps in it, which
anytime you do a round robin, you're going to get speed bumps because.
Well, again, my job is the editor, right? I carefully went through it, line for line, sentence for sentence, knowing what had been done, et cetera, et cetera. It works. It really works. It's a great finishing piece.
That's a tough editorial job to get.
It is. Well, again, these are really talented writers, and you could tell all of them had a blast doing it. The point is, we already got Adam Shaw to do a cover, which is absolutely stunning. The other thing I wanted to mention again is that this all happened, I guess, in the early part of December or late November, when Jamie was, in his last few days in hospice, and was still talking with Teal. And at that particular time, what happened was Teal came to me and said, without Jamie knowing at the time, would you take this on with Airship 27? And realizing I just gotten a message from Jamie like 2 or 3 days earlier telling me that he was done fighting and he was going into hospice and thanking me for my friendship. So when Teal came to me, there was never a question in my mind. Are you kidding? So my hope was he could get back to Jamie, and he did. He called him the day he and I talked and let Jamie know the anthology wasn't going anywhere. It was going to get finished. Airship 27 was going to take care of it and get it out. So again, that's one of the highlight projects that Rob and I are looking at, putting the finishing touches on, and hopefully sometime early in spring we'll have it ready to go. I want to talk to his wife, Phyllis Clare, and see about maybe getting a nice photo of Jamie to put on the back cover, and let her know, the book's about ready to come out, and we'll go from there. And again, if we do another one of these podcasts beforehand, we'll give you an update on how the project's going.
Yep.
That's just a few of the things that and again, like I said, because now, okay, ready, Rob? In the last 4 days, I have gotten
I know where you're going.
3 novels and 2 short stories in 4 days. All right, every one of them going, I made it under the wire.
I made it under the deadline. Yay! I figured that's what would happen. I'm surprised it's only 4. We still got 2 days. So
we still got a couple more days before the end of the year, buddy. So who knows, right? But no, hey, we're playing fair.
No, I mean that's why we did this. This is it. After that, we're gonna We're not going to, unless somebody comes with something that just blows our minds, which is possible. Yeah, this is it for a while until we can get shovel out the backside of the hangar and get
Right.
get some of that
I
stuff
mean, I'm
moved
looking at the
out.
stuff on my desk.
Yeah.
Right. Until that goes down a little bit, please.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and that being the case, I mean, literally that inventory I'm talking about, we probably got a good 20 titles, either novels or inventories, at least 20, Rob. All right. So, I mean, we got our work cut out for us. But then again, knock on wood.
We've gotten as many as, I think it was 26 one year we got out.
Yeah.
So
that was the record. That was the record.
Yeah. But our average has been 1.5 to 2 a month, 2 a year, 2 a month, 1.5 to 2 a month. So anywhere from 18 to 24 is about our usual. It's probably going to be into 2027 before we get all that stuff moved out. But then, like you said, we'll reassess and see what we want to do after that.
Right.
A lot of it will have to do with how both of us, what our health is like at the time, what else we've got going on. So yeah, we'll see fingers crossed. Everything's status quo at that point. Yep.
All right. Hey, look, I think we've covered.
Are you okay? It's time for you to do a repeat joke now.
Okay.
Oh, I can't believe I did that. I did not remember that joke for you telling it. Okay.
All right. I am not doing voices, people. Sorry. All right. Although the temptation after hearing yours is a little, a Chinese doctor moved to the U.S. and couldn't find a job at any hospital. So he opened a small clinic and he put up a rather bold sign in front of the door. Cure for any disease, only $20. If you're not cured, I'll give you 100 back. One day, a savvy American lawyer saw the sign. This looks like a scam, he thought, but maybe I can make a quick $100 out of this. He walked in feeling rather confident. He looked and said, "Doctor, I've lost my sense of taste." The doctor turned around, looked at his pretty young nurse, and said, "Nurse, on the shelf, box 22, put in 3 drops in his mouth." The lawyer went over and opened his mouth. The little nurse brought the little eyedropper out and went, dip, dip, dip. There, that's kerosene, the lawyer said. The doctor said, "Good, your taste is back. That'll be $20. A few days later, the lawyer was really upset he'd been taken, all right? Thought he was all smart. He was going to go at it again.
Uh-huh.
So he walks in, the doctor sees him, says, "Doctor, I've lost my memory. I just can't remember anything." The doctor looked at him and said, "Nurse, on the shelf, box 22, 3 drops." "What? That's the kerosene." "Ah, your memory is back. That would be $20. The lawyer stomped out, determined he was going to come back and catch that doctor. A few days later, he comes in. Now he's got a cane. He's got sunglasses on. "Doctor, please," he goes, "my eyesight is failing. I think I'm going blind." "That's horrible," the doctor says. I don't think I can cure that." So he reached into his jacket and pulled out his wallet and goes, "Oh, yeah, 100. Here you go." And he gave him the bill. The lawyer looked at it. "Hey, wait a minute. That's a 20. The doctor says, "You cured. I'll be $20.
Oh, that joke's got 3 punchlines.
When I found it, it said long joke, and I started reading through it. And you're right, it's
essentially got 3 punchlines.
Yeah.
Wow.
My favorite's the second one, though, right? when he says box 22, and he goes, "What? That's the kerosene." Says, yeah, your memory's back. $20. Oh, anyways. So there you go.
Next time I'll have to. Too
If my
short.
memory goes, I'll repeat that one next month.
Okay,
Okay,
you'll
buddy.
repeat
Anything
the
else, though?
Irishman joking. Yeah, we'll just do that one every. We'll do that one every time.
Oh,
But that's funny because the joke that you just told points up memory as one of the punchlines, and memory is what that I didn't remember you doing that joke. So
Oh.
okay.
Well, I mean,
But
you know,
anyway.
you and I have talked about this, and I mean, especially when we started the company, we were doing this, right? After a few years, it was a case of we were getting so many submissions. I literally have a to-do list on my files. And honestly, I check it every couple days. And you'd be surprised at how many times, you know, I'll check it and at the end of the week go, dang, I forgot that story. I haven't started reading it or editing it, right?
Yeah.
If I don't write it down, all right, and I've had those cases where I've been busy with things, you know, life gets a hold of you. And you know, I won't write it down. Biggest mistake in the world. Because then I'll get a letter 2 days later from an irate writer going, well, what did you think of my story? I sent it to you last month. And yeah, you did. I just forgot to put it down and put it in my schedule to read and whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't have a to-do list. I make every time we get a new book, every time you get a book in that you want me to work on, I create a folder in my Airship27 file on my computer, and it's listed so that everything is listed by the date, the date, and the last thing that was put in is at the top of the list. So the top 5 or 6 things are books that are in the queue. Now, if we have the one drawback to that is if it's a book that we've done before, if it's a series, those don't always. When I put a new file inside of that, say it's Sherlock Holmes, and I put number 20 in, and I've got 1 through 19 in there as well. That doesn't necessarily update it and put it at the top of the list. So I have to remember. I should probably start a to-do list because the old gray cells aren't working as well as they used to. I need to start a to-do list. But anyway, that's my to-do list, is that those will pop up. But the one drawback is when we're doing an anthology or something that we've done previous volumes of, it will not always update that to jump to the top of the list. But just more information that no one really needed to know. Just a piece of trivia that will not do anybody any good except me.
Well, hey, I mean, hopefully, one of the things I find doing these podcasts, and I didn't realize it until this past year, because of all the ups and downs of this past year. Okay, like the breast cancer was definitely a downer, but one of the ups this year was I finally found some time to get involved with the Silverline podcast.
Yeah,
which you've been doing the ones they ran, and because I've got a better internet connection now than I did a few years ago, I got a hold of Roland Mann and said, hey, if I can help out, let me know. So Roland suggested I join the Tuesday night crew, right? Which is the latest one they do.
Right. I was going to point that out, is because you live in the mountain zone. The guy that's the host, I think he lives in the Pacific zone. So you guys are closer together than. I mean, it's. I live in the Central zone, and then Roland and a lot of the other crew live in Florida, which is in the Eastern time. So we've got somebody in every time zone now. But at least it's a little easier for you being out on the West End.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty much 7 o'clock for Tim Thiessen, and it's 9 o'clock for me. But then again, we got Jose, who's part of the crew, who comes from Florida, and he's up at 11 doing this.
Yeah, he's up late at night, which he probably is anyway, knowing Jose.
The kicker is I didn't know, and the other member of the team at that time was David Rios, the inker. And eventually, after a few months, we got another writer, Brent Larson, to join us. So that's our 5. The kicker is, when I first started doing the show with the guys, again, I didn't know them, all right, creatively. I've since, gotten to be friends with them. David's working on a project with me now, a comic book project, and gotten to like them a great deal. And you always kind of feel a little funny if you're the last guy to join any kind of a team, all right, because they've been doing this together for a long time. They're all friends. And I quickly learned that, they're young enough that their likes, as far as like video gaming and stuff like that, I have no clue what that kind of stuff's all about. Okay.
Yeah.
At the same time, we would get into themes of projects on comic books that, like dealt with pulps and the origins of those kind of things. And I found myself being able to contribute those kind of historical significant backdrops, right? Because I'm that much older than these guys are, right? To the point where I got it. Roland eventually had told me, I want to put you in with a bunch of young guys, because there are a lot of things that you can show them that they wouldn't have learned otherwise. All right. And I've gotten to really enjoy being the old man of the group. All right. And there are times when they get into all this young stuff, and I'll just sit back and listen and take it in. No problem at all. All right.
That's what I do on Wednesdays. I'm the venerable one on Wednesdays. So I know,
So
I know whereof you speak.
When I can make any kind of a contribution dealing with some of the early days of comics and background and history and some of those creators, then I chime in, and we've all become good friends. So it's worked out. Like I said, it was a highlight of the year, and I appreciate it. And I hope I can do the show with them for many years to come. There you go.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially that it forces you to be ready every week. Although I think the other members of the Wednesday Wham group, they actually do some preparation. I figure I'm going to be the guy that's going to come in cold and bring a completely different viewpoint to it. Some weeks that works real well. Other weeks it doesn't work real well. But that's the way I look at it. Plus, I'm a lazy SOB. I don't want to do that much work for this podcast. But we have a lot of fun. So yeah. So this is a recommendation from both of us for you folks who, any of you out there who have not tried those Silver Line. There's one on Sunday, there's one on Tuesday, and there's one on Wednesday. Check them out. The one on Sunday is hosted by Roland Mann himself, the head honcho of Silver Line. Tuesday is by Tim.
Yeah,
and I'm blanking on his last name at the moment. Thiessen, okay. Right. And then there's the one on Wednesday, which has kind of a rotating cast of hosts, which I am not. They want the writers to be doing the hosting on most of these things. So which is fine with me. That'd be one more thing I'd have to prepare every week, is to be the host. But yeah, they're a lot of fun. So we highly recommend those. Definitely.
Yeah, please
check them out.
All right. Check them out. And hey, I guess that's it. We're getting to the end of this episode.
Just one more thing.
Go.
That I will throw out there about just a couple of days ago when I let you know this happened, is that on our YouTube channel, we reached 100 subscribers. So any of you folks, and that's an important thing. The more subscribers you get, the algorithm works better for you. There's if you get up to 1,000, you actually can make money on your podcast. Not that that's what we want to do here, but that'd be kind of an interesting thing to get to. But anyway, if any of you out there who have not yet subscribed, please go down and subscribe, or at least give us a thumbs up for these podcasts.
Right,
and it helps us out a little bit, and we would very much appreciate it. So
look,
thanks.
If you have any comments at all on the topic that Bob and I have discussed in any of the shows, leave them in the comment section. If there's a question you'd like us to talk a little bit more about, okay? Because again, when we first announced this whole how we were going to be taking a leave of absence on a hiatus on new submissions, within days, a lot of our colleagues were like climbing the walls, misinterpreting what we had said.
Yeah.
So anything you hear in a podcast and you'd like, clarified, say, hey, talk a little bit more about this. leave it in the comments, and Rob and I will make sure we'll do that next time we
Absolutely.
do our next recording. 'Cause
Absolutely.
we appreciate you listening in. It means the world to us. We wouldn't have Airship 27 if it wasn't for all you loyal airmen. So once again, we thank you. And hey, together want to wish you a truly happy new year.
Yep. So, since we're ending the show now,
Go ahead.
this is Chief Engineer Rob Davis signing off.
And as ever, Captain Ron has the pleasure of saying, down.